As I stand in an old castle that is hundreds and hundreds of years old on the southern part of the island of Crete in Greece, it makes me think how some things need to be abandoned. And today we're going to tear down some walls, the walls of the outdated public school system, the education system. I often hear people who are doing better in life, those who were created to suit the education system, talk about those less fortunate in a derogatory way. They're lazy. Not too bright, are they? Gee, they look pretty unmotivated. I'm going to talk about my perspective on this and what needs to change in regards to the education system. Because like many, I'm a product of it. And fortunately, I was able and aware enough to fuel the resentments I gained throughout my education and throw a hell of a lot of money at unlearning all the bullshit I acquired. And I don't mean the theoretical stuff, I mean all the subconscious stuff that limits a child's potential to be human. I knew how to make money, and that didn't come from school. That came from watching my parents run their business, where I started working at 9 years old. In adulthood, I invested heavily into books, workshops, mastermind groups, mentors and coaches. Like I said, I was a fortunate one. First, I'm going to have a dig at how it is, how I see it and how I perceive it. Then at the end of the video, I'm going to share how it could be and should be through an ontological perspective. And after it all, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. So let's get into it. I feel that public schools, and many private ones for that matter, have a stranglehold on education for way too long. And frankly, it's over. We're just in lag of realizing it. The future is now, and it's about choice. We're talking about local schools, micro schools, online platforms, the whole shebang. Heck, even AI can act as a wonderful alternative or even a supplement. Imagine that, a future organised with a teaching method done through AI. Since the system is about creating robots, we may as well own it and have artificial intelligence continue creating artificial humans. Anyway, I'm going off track. Change is not going to happen overnight. Firstly, because humans find it difficult to change. Once again, the system doesn't teach adaptability because adaptability comes from making mistakes, and mistakes means failure. Secondly, because the infrastructure, along with the outdated mindsets, have their claws deeply dug in. It's basically mediocre thinkers from an unrelated era in time framing the future of those today. I must say, my daughter still goes to a public school. However, we were selective about it. More selective am I about how her education gets supplemented until better options open up. Fortunately, I play in this space and it is something I'm very passionate about. However, I do understand the importance of environment. The days of stuffing every kid into the same tired, worn out education mold, gone. We're just waking up to it now. Surely most know a copy and paste approach to learning is just plain dumb. And here's the kicker. When kids learn, driven by their passions, they learn better, deeper. Forcing everyone through the same system isn't just ineffective. It's a crime against their spirit, their potential, their humanness. And get this, only about a quarter of students actually thrive in the current system. And these are the same people who grow up to perpetuate this robotic madness for the rest. It ranges from a daily grind to downright traumatic. And guess what? Basic skills that set you up for life. Things like reading, writing, arithmetic. Kids can nail these in just a few hours a day. No need for them to be caged all day long. School is not much better than structured childcare. I understand how the world needs the specialists, the doctors, the engineers, the scientists. They're a minority, and the majority are not getting the educational nutrition that they're needing. And this is what this video, this rant speaks into. To anyone feeling beaten down by this archaic system, you're not lazy or unmotivated. You're damn exhausted from energetically and subconsciously fighting a system set against you from day one. It's not your fault. So how do I see things? It's about tailoring education to suit where we are going. If the education system were to fully embrace, say, an ontological approach, it would likely see some very significant changes. First off, ontology in a broad sense deals with the nature of being, existence, or reality. Applied to education, this could involve a deeper focus on understanding and developing the learner's sense of being and their place in the world. In such a system, education would move beyond just imparting information. It would emphasize on helping students understand their own identities as they're building it, discovering their values and relationships with others and the world. Lessons might focus more on self-awareness, critical thinking, and understanding of different perspectives. It would be about teaching information and then allowing a student to experience and action that information as practical as possible, thus allowing the information to be absorbed through the experience, giving them their own lived perspective and ultimately giving them the knowledge they need to move forward into life. Teachers would act more as guides, facilitating personal growth and self-discovery in the students. They would encourage students to question and explore rather than just absorb information. We have Google for that. This approach could lead to a more holistic and personalized education where learning is closely tied to each student's life experiences and aspirations. The curriculum might be less standardized, with more emphasis on interdisciplinary studies and real-world problem solving. Assessments might also change, focusing less on standardized tests and more on projects, presentations, and other demonstrations of understanding and personal growth. Overall, education would likely become dynamic, student-centered, and geared towards creating well-rounded individuals who are not only knowledgeable, but also deeply self-aware and capable of critical thinking in diverse contexts. This is what I focus on these days with the Built Better project. My time, my energy, and my passion, along with the resources I have, go into many of these things simply because I know it's a better way than what we are currently doing. So I ask, how do you think these changes I offered would impact students and society? Will we one day, as tourists looking back on these old abandoned ruins, look back on the education system and wonder, why did we take so long to adapt and evolve? If you would like to learn more about what we do at the Built Better project and what we stand for, feel free to get in touch. And as always, take what you will,